KuztumOGT. This will be a little something different. Greg is here. He's actually at work, which he's not supposed to be. He's overseeing someone doing something. So he's in the bathroom. Not in the bathroom. He's in McDonald's. He'll be back in a minute. We are going to listen to a small excerpt from Jordan Maxwell. Sorry, my bad. Jordan Maxwell. And yeah, I like the things he says, especially when I always say words are weird, and that if you take the word and flip it around, the plural version of it, you get sword, because words cut, words are sharp, words are blunt, words kill, words stab, words slice, words divide. I mean, words confuse. They do all these things. I guess I should have. I'm trying to kill time till Greg gets back. So, anybody in the comments, feel free to share. We might start doing a taboo Tuesday, where we focus anything that's not music related there, because there's a lot of things I would like to dive into on these subjects that are supposedly taboo. Like, well, there's so many of them, but one is like bad trips. You hear about bad trips all the time. Acid and having bad trips. Well, people have bad trips on all substances. Alcohol is the worst. Every crying fit you've seen somebody go into and cry because they lost their loved one, or they didn't, or their brother stole their money or something, that is a bad trip. The only difference is the defense mechanisms that we subconsciously create to block out the things we don't like to talk about, or the things that trigger us. They're still there when we're drunk. When you take psychedelics, those things dissolve. And they don't tell you that these bad trips usually end up in positive results afterwards. So I don't think that's what this is about, though. This is about commerce and the fact that we are all companies. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. We'll see Gregory when he gets back.
I'm trying to get this out there before I leave this world. When we were founded in the United States, we were called the United States of America. It was a republic back in 1776. So we were a republic. But after the Civil War was over, we were still a lot of things after the Civil War, but we were not united. We just got through having a civil war, which was bloody and violent in America. And it looks like that's what's coming again, some kind of a civil war for those who want to promote freedom and liberty and justice and the American way of feeling and the American way of living, as opposed to those who want to destroy our country and what we are as a culture of people. It's a cultural war, and there are people who are living right here in America today that hate you as an American. They don't like seeing Americans successful. They don't like seeing Americans making money and being free. And the one thing that all of the enemies of America hate is to see you free to do your own thinking. Nobody in power, in real political power around the world, wants to see the people under them free to do their own thinking.
So that is a concept that resonates with me in particular very much. The band that I have followed my whole life, Tool, that's the only message they've ever promoted directly, is to think for yourself and to question the authorities that have been put in place before any of us were born. And it's hard to question some of them because, well, your mom told you that, and your mom's mom, and her mom's mom, and It's hard to believe that lies could have been perpetuated for that long. But if you think about it, if they were set in place long ago, that would make it that much easier to keep the lie going once the generations that first experienced the shift are gone. Because the history is written by the winners, and the losers' tale is buried with them. So, anybody in the comments down here? Somebody put a comment. Let me make sure it's working. And yeah, it's and Jordan Maxwell passed away a while back, and he used to talk with Zachariah Ascension. So all of this was before any of the political stuff that's going on now. So this video was made by someone like had Trump sitting there counting money. That has nothing to do with this. Most of it's just wording. So I've had it recorded for a while, but we'll get back to it.
And therefore, America has big enemies who live here. They're eating our food, and they're living in our homes, and they're driving the new cars, and they're living well, but they hate you because you have the right to say no, and they don't like that. And so that's the way it works. And so that's why we have enemies in this country. And so in 1848, there was a beginning of a revolution in this country in 1848, from 1776 to 1848. And in 1848, there became a revolution in America. It was called a communist revolution. And ultimately, it brought about the collapse of the United States of America. There was a great civil war. And so that after the Civil War, as I said, the people of this country were a lot of things, but united was not one of them. We were not united. We just got through having a...
We've had a huge Australian following for a long time. And even when we did Night Wish reactions and stuff, I heard a lot of people say that Americans are insular. Maybe so. It's because we're a melting pot of all culture. So it's nothing for me to go uptown and hear 4 different languages being spoken in a convenience store every day. But to say we are united is just incorrect. Every single state has different laws and different cultures and different accents and different ways of doing things. Virginia, I'm in North Carolina, and South Carolina. All 3 of us touch. If I go to Virginia, smoke weed today, which is totally legal there, this morning, say, and I come back across this invisible line, well, it's not legal here, but I smoked it there legally. If I go to South Carolina and see my friend that evening, you don't have to wear a seatbelt in South Carolina. If I let it slip my mind for just a few seconds and cross that line into the invisible line, and someone hits me, and people get killed, well, I go to jail for manslaughter because of the legal weed I smoked and the seatbelt that was legal 10 foot behind me. If that's united, it's not. So we are literally the divided states of America. I mean, it's not saying all the people are divided, but the states are. So it's just incorrect to say that they're united. Go back a little bit.
And ultimately, it brought about the collapse of the United States of America. There was a great civil war. And so that after the Civil War, as I said, the people of this country were a lot of things, but united was not one of them. We were not united. We just got through having a civil war. We weren't united. And so it was decided by the bankers and the politicians who ran government. The decision was made that since we're not united, and we're not going to be united, a lot of bad blood in this country against people around, between the peoples of this country. And so, since there's a lot of real serious bad blood, and the war just over, but it's not really over. They're no longer killing each other, but that doesn't mean they love each other either. So the war is now over, but it's not really over. So what are you going to do about all the people who are living here? They're already living here. They all want to eat, and they all want to grow, and they all want to have children and have their life. So how are you going to get them to work together? It was decided in the 1870s that we should make United States of America no longer our operating United States. We're not united. So it was decided to make the United States into a company, a corporation, like Ford Motor Company or General Electric or the big oil company. Make the United States into a corporation, a company. And so the United States became known as the United States Incorporated. It's a company. And it was referred to like U.S. So if you are a U.S. citizen, that means you are an employee of a corporation called United States or U.S. You're no longer an American born in the United States of America. You are a U.S. citizen. Look it up. It means that you are an employee of a corporation. And therefore, it also means if you're a U.S. citizen, it means your body is a corporation. You are a corporation. And therefore,
I've heard that before because I've heard like common stock and preferred stock is what that level between middle class and the rich, is preferred stock and common stock. This goes all the way back to farmers and their animals and the stock. The way they breed pit bulls to be purebred or preferred stock. That's where the stock market comes from. The stock comes from free grazers out on the still in the big landowner, like the Young Guns movie, where they're stealing cattle. It's funny how we went to be in the U.S. instead of the United States of America. You very rarely see USA anymore on anything from the government. It's always U.S. So that kind of makes sense.
U.S. citizen. Look it up. It means that you are an employee of a corporation. And therefore, it also means if you're a U.S. citizen, it means your body is a corporation. You are a corporation. And therefore, you are, as a corporation, you are a business. And so everything you do is a business as a corporation. And happily, it doesn't matter what you do. It's none of my business. But what I do is none of your business. Why? Because we're both corporations. We're both a business. But we can work together if we want. As my business is not your business, and your business is not my business. But if we want to work together, we can, as long as you get a license. Because now you're a company and I'm a company. And so when I see you with somebody, I see you with a friend coming out of a restaurant one night, and I say to you the next day, you know that person you were with last night? Yeah, they're bad company. You better watch out for them because they're really bad company. And you say, mind your own business. Company, business. Then I find out you're going to get married and she's going to be your partner. What are we talking about here? Company, business, partner. You're talking.
Man. Okay, so when we were ravaging this land, just killing Indians and dragging slaves along with us, the North and the South, we the church was the law. There was no law then. Business deeds, land deeds, all these things, which, by the way, was unfathomable to the Native Americans. They're like, what do you mean you own the land? How can you own land? Like they couldn't conceptualize the theory. They couldn't even compartmentalize this theory of owning land. It was just something that had never crossed their minds. So that was terrible. But so these words, company and business, corporations, companies, business partners, this was all made by church, which became the government, which became what it is now, left and right. But to say that that's a coincidence that people say bad company, you're hanging out with bad company, it's none of your business, and your partners who you get married to, when that's what it's called when two corporations merge, right? That's a marriage of corporations. Huh. Yeah. Okay.
See you with a friend coming out of a restaurant one night, and I say to you the next day, you know that person you were with last night? Yeah, they're bad company. You better watch out for them because they're really bad company. And you say, mind your own business. Company, business. Then I find out you're going to get married and she's going to be your partner. What are we talking about here? Company, business, partner. You're talking about commerce, business. It's just business. This is why if you're going to get married, you got to have a license because you're a company and she's a company. So you got to have a license because you're doing business. Why? Because if it doesn't work out, you're not going to God, you're going to court. Bring your house, your car, and everything else you own. It's just business. It's commerce. Look up the word commerce in a law dictionary. It will tell you commerce in law is called sex. Sex is commerce. It's a
I'll check that. In a law dictionary, what does the word commerce mean? What is the actual definition, though? They don't want to give me the actual definition, but it breaks down to a two-part concept. That's sex. Intercourse. Yeah, right here it is. Okay. The Supreme Court, Gibbons versus Ogden, as intercourse, which means to includes all pieces that make trade possible, transportation, shipping. So Jordan Maxwell is saying that in a law dictionary, the definition is sex. And I'm seeing two-part concept. I'm seeing intercourse. So by definition, he's not wrong. Is that correct? Sorry. I just like to fact check things. Let me say intercourse. Yeah, he's saying that he is wrong because the word intercourse has multiple meanings. Okay, whatever. Social intercourse. That's what, yeah, these language models don't like to tell you the truth. It means intercourse. He's not wrong.
Business. You don't think so? You mess around with it, and you can get in big trouble in business. It can cost you a lot. And so when you get married, it's a commercial operation. That's why you have to have a marriage license.
Rob, this has been really interesting, man. He said the word commerce. Look it up in a law dictionary, and it means sex. And I just asked Gemini, and it had the word intercourse. It had two-party connection, and all these things. I'm like, so safe to say it can mean sex? No, because intercourse can mean all these different things. And social intercourse was the first thing put up there, so. You saying use in work 12 times. What the hell? Am I glitching or something? What the hell? I don't understand.
Why? Because we're both corporations, we're both a business. But we can work together if we want. Well, you know, as my business is not your business, and your business is not my business. But if we want to work together, we can, as long as you get a license, because now you're a company and I'm a company. And so when I see you with somebody, I see you with a friend coming out of a restaurant one night, and I say to you the next day, you know, that person you were with last night, yeah, they're bad company. You better watch out for them because they're really bad company. And you say, mind your own business. Company, business. Then I find out you're going to get married and she's going to be your partner. What are we talking about here? Company, business, partner. You're talking about commerce, business. It's just business. That's why when if you're going to get married, you got to have a license because you're a company and she's a company. So you got to have a license because you're doing business. Why? Because if it doesn't work out, you're not going to God, you're going to court. Bring your house, your car, and everything else you own. It's just business. It's commerce.
You might as well be playing a country song backwards. Bring your house, your wife, and your kids.
Look up the word commerce in a law dictionary. It will tell you commerce in law is called sex. Sex is commerce. It's a business. You don't think so? You mess around with it, you can get in big trouble in business. It can cost you a lot. And so when you get married, it's a commercial operation. That's why you have to have a marriage license. And so it's interesting the way the world works. Because when you go to court, why do you have to go to court? You play basketball on a court. You play tennis on a court. There are words and terms. You need to understand what the words mean. How do you play tennis on a court? You play with a racket. Why? Because the whole idea of a court is a racket. It's a commercial enterprise to control you. They made you into a company, and happily what you do is none of my business, and what I do is none of your business. And so they made you into a business and a company, and now they are able to control you through a court. It's a very interesting world that we live in, and how these words are all connected. And it has to do with the fact that you are, in point of fact, a company. You're a corporation. And you know, there's so much to that subject we could talk about for hours, about where our money comes from and who runs a corporation and who runs this corporation called U.S., the U.S. corporation. Who owns it? Well, there's obviously all corporations have owners. They're stockholders. And so you are a stockholder. You're just a little tiny, little small stockholder. But your body is worth like $7 to $9 million on the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah, and all these games that are played on courts, it's the same league playing on the court, passing the ball back and forth to each other. So even the offense and the defense. So you got a prosecuting attorney and a defense attorney. So you got offense and defense right there, and the judge is the referee. The Catholic Church works the same way. You go tell the clergyman asks, "What's your name, son?" You tell your name, you confess your sins, and there's the judge. Even where the Grim Reaper imagery come from, the judge in the black robe, or the priest in the black robe. It's also why in America you graduate in a black robe. Or this is what I have. They have teams, yes. They're passing the ball back and forth, and you're the fucking spectator. Or you're the prize. You're the trophy.
Your body is worth millions on the New York Stock Exchange. Why? Because you're just a small stockholder in the great corporation called the U.S. Most people don't know that their bodies are being bought and sold on the New York Stock Exchange, and they're worth millions of dollars. Most people have never heard about, don't know anything about this, never heard about it. I've heard it many, many years ago. And I've watched the law, and I know the way the law works because you're a corporation. And I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not preaching law. But what I am doing is I'm trying to educate you as to how the world works around you. But do not do anything, and this is a caution, I'm cautioning everyone, do not do anything about what I am telling you. I'm merely educating you, not so you can go out and do something, because you can get in trouble, serious trouble. You can go to jail or prison by trying to do something I talked about. So I'm not recommending you do anything. I'm just trying to educate you. And the way this corporation works is very, very strange. And most people have no idea in the world how the world really works. It's a business.
Now, being a part of a business, the things that we own, we don't really even own them, do we?
No, you do not own anything. You don't own anything. If you go out and you buy a brand new car and you put the cash down, the full amount for the car, put the cash on the table, and you think, boy, I bought the brand new car for cash. It's mine. No, it's not yours. You don't own nothing. And so you need to understand that you have an equitable interest. You have an equality. You have an equitable interest, meaning you've got money involved in it. And so if I want to buy it from you, if I want to get the car and you want to get rid of it, I have to give you some money to back up what you put into the car. It's called equality. It's called an equitable in America.
Oh shit. Or in redneck terms, it's called giving you some money to boot. Damn, man, I just backed that up all the way to the fucking beginning. Where was we even at? Party foul. Racket. This is a fucking racket. Get your watch hours that I don't even need. I want watch hours. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to get monetized. I don't know, man. I think this is it. God, I did it again. Ugh, fuck, that hurt.
I have no idea in the world how the world really works. It's a business.
Now, being a part of a business, the things that we own, we don't really even own them, do we?
No, you do not own anything. You don't own anything. If you go out and you buy a brand new car and you put the cash down, the full amount for the car, put the cash on the table, and you think, boy, I bought the brand new car for cash. It's mine. No, it's not yours. You don't own nothing. And so you need to understand that you have an equitable interest. You have an equality. You have an equitable interest, meaning you've got money involved in it. And so if I want to buy it from you, if I want to get the car and you want to get rid of it, I have to give you some money to back up what you put into the car. It's called equality. It's called an equitable interest. But I'm not giving you the money so that I can own it. I'm giving you the equality of the money you have involved in it, because you don't own it. And once I buy it, I don't own it. And why do you not own it? Is because you never paid for it. You didn't pay for it because according to the United States commercial system.
That's a shocker, huh? Hey, Jordan Maxwell and Russell Pine, confirmed Satanist. Well, I mean, I don't know what that's got to do with this, but I mean, I've heard Jordan Maxwell talk about going up to the Catholic Church, and I don't know. I don't know, so I'm not going to say.
Which is based on the British system of commerce around the world. According to the law, our money is gold and silver coin, period. And if you didn't come in with $30,000 in gold coins to pay for that car, you didn't pay for it. You merely use the paper money, which we use is called Federal Reserve notes. That's bank notes. So our money is no longer really money because money in America is gold and silver coin. That's real money. But if you didn't use gold coins to buy your car, then you don't own it. You merely have used Federal Reserve notes. If you look on the dollar bill, you will see it says this is not money, but we can be used as money. And on the older dollar bills, it used to say you can take this bill into a bank and have it trade.
There's an old cliche, right? You can take that to the bank. I've heard that many times. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to deny that when you get married, it's your partner, and you have to merge, which is a marriage, which is the same thing as two companies when they get married. The company you keep is not your business because it's a business, and my business is not your business unless we're merged. Married. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, really.
Traded in for real money. That's what the bill said. Traded in for real money, gold and silver coin. So therefore, if you're not using real money, then you're just using some paper that's published by a company called...
Well, I do know about Anthony LaVey, and the Church of Satan had nothing to do with the devil at all. Not anything, not one piece of it, period, had anything to do with the devil. The Church of Satan was simply an anti-movement against authoritism. It had nothing to do with Satanism. They didn't sacrifice nothing. They didn't practice evil. I mean, I'm not a LaVey fan, don't get me wrong, but I think you may be going by the fact that Jordan Maxwell has called out the hypocrisy in the church, not spirituality. I think those are two totally different things. But I don't know. I have no idea where you're coming from. I just know. If Jordan Maxwell was connected to Anthony LaVey, he's on record. The whole book he wrote and everything was complete bullshit. Like, they never worshipped Satan. So they didn't even believe in Satan.
The Federal Reserve, you're just using some paper that you didn't pay for anything. You are using the paper that you are playing with. And if you're using a monopoly and play the game, that's fine. It'll work because it's part of the game. But if you want to go outside and buy a car with that monopoly money, it's not going to fly. Nobody's going to take it. So the point being is that when we use our money in America, it's not money. It represents the value of something. It represents the value. And the way it represents is the value of your body. Your body is on the stock exchange and it backs up our money. That's a whole story.
Yeah, like preferred stock and common stock. So that's like I said, that's the line between the tax levels of the rich and the middle class. So that's why we're common stock. And I've always heard that yeah, it's all about money. It's all about money. And if anybody don't believe that the government and the church are united, then why do you have to go to a preacher to get married? So many people don't realize that when America was formed, even when the government was being formed, there was no law. There were no courthouses. The church was the law. The church was the law for 1,700 years everywhere in the world. And where they weren't the law, they burned down those towns and built churches there and became the law. So this is not a conspiracy. That is the absolute truth. It doesn't mean that people in church are bad. It doesn't mean that politicians are all bad. It doesn't mean doctors are bad. It doesn't mean teachers are bad. But those four systems, the educational, the pharmaceutical, the religious, and the political, they cause every bit of turmoil, division, and war that there are. They're all one of the four. We update our cars, we update our phones, we update our building codes, we update everything, but we don't update those four systems that run everything in the world. Oh, Diva, what's up, girl? G'day. Australia, mate. Shout out to the Kiwis, too. Got my, skyhook hat on. I'm going to do a documentary on Shirley. Wasn't that the name of Skyhooks? Shirley? I'm going to do a documentary on them. So, I'm only here doing this because Greg was here with me. He went to work to supervise some guy working on the toilets or something. No, on the, what was it, Rob? The electricity? Rob Van Dam. Oh, Diva. We are back like we never left, though. Damn it! I'm getting ready to do. Oh man, what was it called? Oh, the song tool cover of Black Sabbath. That's a thing. Something Hand of Doom. I think Hand of Doom. I haven't watched it yet because of this. Because Greg's gonna react to Anima and 46 and 2 at some time. I've heard a lot of people, even on threads that aren't tool threads, talking about how they did a really good job. So, yeah. I guess I'll wrap this up, man. That was, I would like to start doing a Taboo Tuesday or I don't know, just something new in tomorrow. Cool. We'll get ready to jump right on that. And I'm doing the new Carnival soon. Rob, I'm also going to go back to man, I can't never remember that band. Strange Days. Or, wait a minute. Oh, the girl singer. Anyway, we can go back to Mia Moray and Octail and Kolsev and man, what was the name of that? It's got like purple imagery. Had the guitar falling over at the end of the song. You had to wait forever. Strange Days. Is that Strange Days? I think that's it. I liked all those bands. Thought they were really good. Sludge Mother too. Sludge Mother was really good. Excuse me. Got no warning up yonder. I always put that in the shot though. I got a pretty funny video on Discord. Or it's actually weird, kind of weird video. But Greg's had some kind of AI app, man. He's had some weird shit. thought I was tripping. You like the way they're putting the comments on? They're trying to keep up with Streamlabs. The comments are on the screen now. I don't know if you can make that bigger or not. I'm not sure yet. Is that the van you just sent me? I talked to the guy that recorded that warning concert. He sent me one of them in the parking lot doing more. Yeah, it's new, man. Streamlabs is hard to fucking work. I don't know if y'all ever tried it, but it's not easy. Like, this is so damn simple right here. And I just don't see, now that I paid my Microsoft bill, I haven't had no problems with it. But Streamlab is just some complicated ass shit, man. Because now I could throw these links in here like this.
Is it still going? The heck? Has it ended? It's still going. Well, where the hell did Danny go? Station identification. One moment.